So, Caitlin Clark and Team USA, we need to talk about what just happened because, honestly, I think something pretty crazy happened in this game. Caitlin Clark just made her debut with Team USA after being around the team for a couple of months. And she's already been answering a lot of questions about her role, her play style, and how she's going to fit into this roster. But after watching this game, I've got to say it. In my opinion, Caitlin Clark got robbed a player of the game. Now look, I know some people are going to say Rhyne Howard deserved it. And yes, Rhyne Howard had a great game. But if you actually look at the numbers and what happened on the floor, it's very hard to argue that Caitlin Clark wasn't the most impactful player out there. Clark finished with only 4 fewer points than Rhyne Howard, but she had 10 more assists. She played fewer minutes, and she had the same plus-minus. So when you look at the full picture, it really does feel like Caitlin Clark was a player driving everything for Team USA. But before we continue, if you guys agree with that take, make sure to subscribe. We're trying to push the channel back over 57.2K subscribers. We dropped quite a bit recently, but the support has been amazing and we're slowly climbing back up. Now here's the really interesting part. Caitlin Clark played so well today that it might actually have an impact on the WNBA's current CBA negotiations. And I know that sounds crazy, but think about it for a second. Right now the league and the Players Association are in the middle of long negotiations. Meetings are reportedly going on for hours. And the big question the owners are asking themselves is simple. Is the league going to keep growing? Well, when Caitlin Clark steps on the international stage and immediately dominates the way she did tonight, that's a pretty strong signal that the growth isn't slowing down anytime soon. In her USA debut, Clark recorded 12 assists, which is the second most assists ever in the history of the competition. And she did it while also scoring 17 points. That's an incredible debut. The only player in history to record more assists in this competition is Su Wang of China, which just shows how rare this performance actually was. And the most impressive part? Caitlin Clark only played 19 minutes. 19 minutes. That's it. Imagine if she had played closer to 30 minutes. The numbers could have been absolutely ridiculous. After the game, Clark talked about her mentality when she stepped onto the floor. And her answer tells you everything you need to know about how she sees her role. She said when she's out there, she just wants to compete as hard as possible and give everything she has. But more importantly, she emphasized something else, getting her teammates easy shots. Clark said she takes a lot of pride in creating opportunities for everyone else. She wants to make the game easier for her teammates, push the tempo, and keep the offense moving quickly. And that's actually a really interesting point, because if you follow the WNBA discussions recently, you'll know that Indiana Fever coach Steph White has talked about sometimes wanting Caitlin Clark to slow the game down. But Caitlin Clark has always been at her best when the game is played fast. And tonight, you could clearly see that. There was no standing around, no slow possessions. It was constant movement, dribble handoffs, transition offense, quick decisions. Just go, go, go. And when Caitlin Clark plays like that, it becomes extremely difficult for any defense to keep up. Another player who talked about the experience was Chloe Peterson, who mentioned that playing around 20 minutes felt different from a typical WNBA game, but also helped ease back into the rhythm. And that's another important detail. Even with limited minutes, Caitlin Clark was incredibly effective. In fact, I would argue she was clearly the most impactful player on the floor for Team USA. And again, if someone wants to say Rhyne Howard had the better scoring night, that's fine. But we also have to acknowledge something. Caitlin Clark was the one creating many of those scoring opportunities. She was the one finding Rhyne Howard open on the perimeter again and again. Those assists don't just appear out of nowhere. Someone has to read the defense, make the pass, and put their teammates in the perfect position to score. And that's exactly what Caitlin Clark did. Now here's the bigger picture. Caitlin Clark is going to have great games, and she's also going to have bad games. That's just how basketball works. There will be nights where she struggles. There will be nights where she looks unstoppable. But more often than not, she's going to be the type of player who completely changes the game for everyone around her. Because when Caitlin Clark is on the floor, the offense opens up. Players get easier shots. The pace increases. The defense gets stretched. And that's why even other elite guards might actually enjoy playing alongside her. Imagine someone like Chelsea Gray sharing the court with Caitlin Clark. Instead of worrying about creating every shot herself, she could suddenly find herself getting wide open looks because Clark is drawing all the attention and pushing the tempo. Of course, there's also a trade-off. When you play with Caitlin Clark, she's usually going to have the ball in her hands a lot. But the benefit is that if you run the floor and move without the ball, she's going to find you. Some people compare Caitlin Clark to Luka Doncic, and there are similarities in terms of playmaking. But there's also a big difference. In the half court, Luka can slow the game down. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, thrives when everything is moving at full speed. And tonight, that style was on full display. She pushed the pace constantly, even in the half court. There was always movement, always action. And honestly, even her off-ball movement looked better than it has in the past. So when you look at this performance as a whole, it becomes very clear what Caitlin Clark wants to do with this team. She wants to run. She wants to play fast. And if Team USA fully embraces that style, it can make them incredibly dangerous. Because when the game opens up and turns into a track meet, there are very few teams in the world that can keep up. France might be one of the only teams with the athleticism to match that pace. But most teams, they simply won't be able to handle it. And that's why Caitlin Clark could end up being one of the most important players on this roster. Even if she's only playing around 20 minutes per game, those 20 minutes could completely change the outcome of a game. She might not always start games. She might not always finish games. But there will absolutely be moments where Caitlin Clark comes in and blows the game wide open. And if tonight's performance is any indication, that might happen a lot. Anyway, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Caitlin Clark should have been player of the game? And as always, comment and subscribe.